Welcome to The Next Big Star. I'm your host, James Kelly, and our co-host is Ninon Duvera de Rosa.
Oh, he got
or
it
Ninon
right.
Duvera de Rosa.
You got it. You're getting practice. They tell me practice makes perfect.
And I have to just say that. And we have with us today, we have Bobby Peoples and Renee Peoples, and they are filmmakers.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Are you husband and wife?
Yes, we are.
And you can actually make a film together?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a new one on me. That's a new one on me. And you look very happy. So whatever you're doing,
Oh, yeah, I do it well.
yeah, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
So how long have you been making films?
Since 2008 together, but I've been
Yes.
in the business since 2004.
Oh, okay. All right. And where did you start off making films?
I started off working at New Millennium Studios. I used to work for Tim and Daphne Reed. You might know Aunt Viv from The Fresh Prince.
Oh, yeah.
I worked for them, and her husband, Tim Reed, was the dad on Sister Sister.
Oh, my goodness.
So, I worked for them for 3 years in Petersburg, Virginia. I was a production assistant, production coordinator, and production secretary.
Okay. And then how did Renee enter the picture?
I came along as an actress, actually, to audition for one of his films, and I ended up being the assistant / babysitter because he was a single father at the time, and then it went from there. So when I came along, we actually met on business. We met on set.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. And so you I know you lived in Atlanta, but you start off, you said, in Virginia.
Yes.
All right. And is that where you met?
No, we met in Atlanta.
Oh, you did meet
Yeah,
him?
we met in Atlanta,
Okay.
yes.
So that's only been a few years then. When she was on like 21 or something.
Yeah, no, we met
Yes,
in
thank you.
2007, got married in 2008.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Was it love at first sight?
For her, it was.
For him, it was.
Oh, yeah, he was gone. Oh, then he was gone. He had no chance for any other woman, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That was the end of his love stories.
Yep.
That's it.
So I already know about how Bobby has to be careful because I saw one of your videos and on how you had to say you weren't supposed to say that.
Yes.
So yeah. So be careful, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, this whole interview going to probably be that same way.
Yeah.
I'm going to say things I shouldn't say.
That's all right. Well,
If you see me tapping him under the table,
yeah,
like,
a big knee knock, like, doom.
yeah.
If you hear a thump, well,
Yeah,
know.
There you go.
Yeah. So tell us about your latest movie.
The latest movie we just wrapped on this past Friday was called Taboo 3, The Unforgettable Act. It is it's the third in the series that we created for Maverick Entertainment, based out in Florida.
Okay.
It is a movie dealing with, how should I put this, babe?
He doesn't want to
It's
say the
taboo.
wrong thing.
So the
It's
title of
taboo.
it tells you
Yeah.
in
It's
itself
taboo.
it's taboo.
It's
So
sex before marriage and during. How's that?
And after.
Sorta.
Sure.
Okay.
Sorta. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I say go watch part 1 and part 2 and then come back to this interview.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know Ninon's not shy about talking about this. So.
No, not at all. No, I
Okay.
think whatever you have to talk about it. It's all, life is very normal.
That's
You
right.
know,
Yeah,
everybody has
yeah.
sex. Everybody does everything. So what's the big deal? You know, it's funny. I'm from Europe. And in Europe, sex is like, I'm not going to say it's a secondary thing, but we have love first, and then we sort of evolve where we want to go. In America, it's like have dinner, have sex, and do we match?
Yeah.
All at one time. And it's like, hang in a second.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, give me some time. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's very different.
It's
you know.
different. Okay.
Yeah. So what were some of your other films before leading into this one?
Oh man, if you look at our IMDb credit, Renee and I have, since the time we've been married, we've produced and directed and written over 100 projects.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
So
Projects, and that includes web series.
web
of course.
series and shorts as well.
2 and
But
3
our main,
seasons,
but
yeah.
a lot of stuff we've done is feature films. And we do a quick turnaround because we own everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have
That's
to.
great.
We don't have to. We have no overhead, so we can sit there and write, direct, produce a movie tomorrow if we wanted to.
Who does the writing?
We both.
We
do.
both do.
So how do you connect with the story? Because you both know kind of the beginning of the story, and there's a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Well, I mean, we both sit down and we have conversation. Like when we was in the car, when we pulled up here, we was talking about a project that we're going to write probably next week.
Really?
Right.
But we have conversations and we talk about it, then we sit up, we write something out, and we just go back and forth with ideas.
Isn't that
we
amazing?
come out,
Yeah.
come
That's
out with
awesome.
an outline.
Yeah.
Like an outline really helps us out a lot. You know, we know the beginning, the middle, and the end. We stick to that, and
Then fill
the
it in.
characters just
Yeah.
will start talking at that point. So once we get that outline and that flow going,
You let the characters take over.
We let the characters take
Yeah.
over. He do a scene or two, and I'll write a scene or two, and then we go back and forth. So it has both of our voices in it, but it's speaking on behalf of those characters.
But that's great that you two can write together like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's usually difficult for someone to do that.
I personally don't want to write with anybody else but my wife.
Yeah,
Aw.
we just have a really good chemistry.
She doesn't
when
want
it
you
comes
to
down
do that
that.
either.
I would hope
I
not.
think there's something she has in common with you.
Right.
So your idea is basically just like you said, just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, news.
Okay.
Being since we got here in Vegas, one of our things we like to do is go down to Fremont Street.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Oh, characters,
There's a lot to write
characters.
about
A lot of
there.
characters.
we,
yeah.
and we're people watch.
We people watch
We're
a
people
lot.
watch.
Like we'll go on a date and just
People
sit
watch.
there and people watch. Like that is like it's entertaining for us
Yeah.
to see how people interact and how they
Strange, aren't they?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's interesting because
Oh,
a movie,
yeah.
a
Strange
movie
out
that
there.
we did last year. It came out last year. Domestic Warfare. There was a scene in the movie that my wife literally took from a date that we had. We went to hibachi, and this guy was upset that the hibachi guy making jokes, and
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody was laughing at him, so he kind of got mad with his wife. So we kind of took that whole scenario
Yeah.
and put it in our movie.
Oh,
so,
there you
Yeah.
go.
I mean, so we're just watching people, being observants.
And even when they left, it was like, oh, I want to get up and leave and see, how this happens because they were still outside talking to the manager.
Yeah, it was-
Oh,
like
wow.
a big to do.
Time for us to go.
Yeah,
Right,
and I
yeah.
was like, yeah, let's go out here
He
and
was
see how this ends
upset
up.
because
yeah.
the guy was making fun. I'm like, that's the guy's job. He makes fun. He makes
Yeah.
fun of people.
Yeah.
He just got upset because the guy made fun of him.
Well, that's Don Rickles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So.
Oh
yeah.
yes, he did that all the time.
Wow.
Shecky Green, Don
Yeah,
Nichols, all
yeah,
of
yeah,
those
yeah,
people.
yeah.
They laid into
Do you know
you.
who the Trenier brothers were or are?
Too near.
There's a
no.
couple left.
Not familiar.
Well, they were an act here in Las Vegas at the Stardust for years and years and years. And they had a song as You Don't Know Me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend once who used to play at the casino where this person was dealing cards. And over a couple years, they got to know him and everything. So they invited him to the show. He had no idea what was going to happen. So in the middle of the show, they start this act and they start singing this song, You Think You Know Me, But You Don't Know Me. And then they put the spotlight on you. And when they first start off with the song, it's a very soft song and talking about how you're my friend and all that. And then it's you think you know me, but you really don't know me. And they put that person on the spot. And their ego is big because you think, I'm your friend,
Yeah, I'm gonna be great.
I busted up laughing. That person got mad, but I thought it was hilarious. That was like a Don
wow.
Rickles moment. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know me. You think
you
you know
think
me.
you-
Right. Wow. Yeah. Some people just don't have good personalities. Like, they already come in with this, that's Debbie Downer type of
Yeah.
personality or attitude, and they just can't handle the fun. It was, light. It was fun. Just roll with it.
Roll with it. That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you still act? Do you still do it?
Yes,
Do you ever
ma'am.
do you put yourself in the movie as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you act as well?
I
or-
act, but I don't act like she does. I mean,
well, I
do
hope
it.
not. You're
No.
both-
No.
So now that could mean two different things. I don't act like she does.
Yeah. No. I mean,
You're not what I think you are.
When we first met, she was acting, so I'll do it from time to time, but she's a very great actress. I mean, she's been on a few TV shows and stuff like that, So yeah, she's definitely the actress in the family.
Okay.
Family means you have children.
7.
Yes.
7. Wow. I didn't
Boys
know that.
and girls, or all boys?
Boys and girls.
5 boys, 2
we're,
girls.
we're a blended family. He came to the table with most children.
How many
Okay.
did you come to the table?
I came
Well,
to the table with one.
I came to the table at 5 at the time.
And I inherited 5. And
then you had your
we have
own.
Then we had one
and
together.
you have one together. Or at least we got
Yeah.
one good.
So it's just kind of like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, pretty much. Very much so.
Do they all get on? Are they all okay?
Well, they're all grown now.
Right.
Except for
There-
one.
Except for one. Except for our baby.
The
He's
baby,
10.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
He's 10? Oh,
mhm,
how sweet.
Yes. So they're all. Everyone else is grown.
Do you put
and
him in the movies as well?
He younger when he was younger, he was in a few of them.
We
but-
had to fire him one
Yeah.
time.
Oh.
Because he
Yeah.
was only like 2 or 3, and he wanted to run around and hit the girls on the bottom part. So we had
You
to
can't do that.
Yeah, we had to fire him.
Out of
But,
rules.
Yeah, he. Most of our children though have been in our movies in
Oh,
some
great.
capacity.
wonderful.
capacity,
So
yeah.
are they following your path? Are they in the industry?
One of them did. Well, one of them went to school for mass communication. Our oldest, and but he's in entertainment altogether because he sings and raps as well. But he doesn't do the movie stuff per se. I mean, he has his own thing going on now, but he's the only one who kind of somewhat followed the footsteps. Everybody else kind of like, you know what, we did that when we were younger. It's time to move on to something else.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good. That's good.
So what are your movies about? Give us an idea from the beginning what those were about.
Well, I mean, drama. I mean, life, like life stories. Life is full of ups and downs.
Because you said you have one on Lifetime that you just produced.
We just did one for Lifetime. Yes, it's called Teachers Watching. We did not write that one. We were hired to direct.
Okay.
We shot that in Mississippi for two weeks, and we was there for 3 weeks for a week of prep. So it should be coming to Lifetime sometime this spring or summer.
Okay, great.
Well, that is that's the idea of it going to Lifetime. That's something that they wanted.
Yeah.
But it turned out really, really well. So we'll see. It may go to Lifetime. It may go to a different network. We don't know
Is
yet.
that an opening door for you so you can get other movies in there of your own and everything? Because
Absolutely.
that's kind of an open door. Do you know the people? You've worked for them. They know who you are.
Absolutely.
And that does help, doesn't it?
Yes,
because
it does.
Because that was our
It
second movie
does.
with them.
Yeah, with this particular
Wow.
company,
Yeah.
they've been great. We have another one that we had filmed back in November that was filmed for BET Plus platform. So that's still in
It's in post
production.
Yeah. And it's a sci-fi film. So we kind of do all kinds of
really?
genres. Yeah. So we kind of do all kind of genres. I mean, like, we have a series that we did that won a lot of awards called Dexter Jackson's Guide to Dating, which
That
is
was
a comedy.
Yeah.
So
Like
and
that.
we've done horror. So I mean, we're not stuck in one genre.
So tell me about the sci-fi.
It's called Night of the Fallen Stars.
Okay.
And it's basically about an alien invasion.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and I don't want to go too much in detail about that, but it's an alien invasion that and happens at Ground Zero in Mississippi.
All right.
And so potential for sequels.
There you go.
Absolutely,
There
yeah.
you
We
go.
filmed we filmed that literally in the woods
Yes.
for 2 weeks in the cold.
But you really were in the
Yeah.
woods.
Yes,
Yeah.
we really were.
And this was in
the woods.
Atlanta?
There was no
No,
green
this was in
screen.
Mississippi.
This was
in
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Okay.
We filmed, yeah.
And that stars Robert Davi. You might know him from The Goonies or
Oh, yeah.
Robert
Yeah,
Davi.
Robert, and he was in Die Hard, and then also Paul Logan. He does a lot of action films.
Okay.
Then there is Chris Green. He's from the show Queen of the
Queen
South.
of the South, yeah.
And a few other people, in that particular project.
So what do you think's given you this popularity of sort of being a director and also bringing your own films out and being very successful? Because you both are very successful in what you do. What has been the way of doing that?
Being consistent.
Consistency
Turning
is the
up and
key.
being consistent. And also probably knowing what you're doing.
Well, no, being consistent. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's kind of learn as you go type thing.
I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
And
but-
that's what's great is that everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
You've
Yeah.
got to start somewhere in order
Yeah.
to get to where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
So and it is a learning process. Everything we do.
You
Oh, of
learn
course.
every project. If you don't learn from each one of your projects, and you're doing something wrong.
Right.
Nothing is
Absolutely.
ever perfect. So
Yeah.
you're going to learn. You're going to look at it and you're going to tear it apart
Yeah.
because that's just what you do.
Right.
And
And you wanna
because
make it
we're-
better and
right,
make
you
it-
make it better.
yes.
And that's
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how big you get or where you're starting from or you're trying to get to. You have to learn.
And I'm sure you, as an actress, probably have done that many times, even
Oh,
in your own
yes.
career, saying, I could have done that different or I could have done that.
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Definitely. I agree with
Yeah.
that.
I do that with this show all the time.
I do. I like to criticize myself. Why did I sit that way? Or why did I say that word? Or, and to be able to critique yourself. Unless you watch it, you can't do that.
right.
Right.
And it's sort of, but it is I think to the end of time, it's a growing thing anyway, because each one is different.
Right.
What I
Exactly.
find interesting is like I edit most of my shows, and when I'm sitting there editing, I'm not listening for certain things. So then when I hear it back, if it's on the radio or wherever on a podcast, it's different. I hear it different.
Yeah.
And I often say, "Is that my voice?"
Yeah.
Really?
yeah.
So, yeah. So what are your upcoming projects? What do you have going on? I know the one you're just releasing.
We just wrapped one. Right now, we're in the process of writing some, and we also just got the script to do another film for the company we did for Lifetime. To go to LA next month. I really can't talk about that because of NDA, but it's a potential project in LA for 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
There, yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
So I've noticed roughly your filming is 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You keep it that small.
Yeah,
Because you've got your own equipment, you've got your own stuff, so you don't really need to hire anything or do anything. What about producers and directors? You get those on board?
Well, we are producers and directors.
Yes,
for
but I mean,
the projects that we work with the other company, we are hired to come on as directors. So
Yes.
they do have a crew.
Oh, okay.
They hire their camera crew, film crew.
Yeah.
For our projects, we have our own equipment and we
And
direct
7
our
children.
films as well. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
then
do
you-
have a producer that we can do it, but we hire on producers.
Yeah, I
if we
figured
want a
that.
DP,
Yeah.
we can hire a DP or to come and film the movie. But we can do it ourselves. We're self-sufficient. But here we're trying something different, and we're opening our doors for more crew and more people to come on board.
and you'll
help us
probably
out.
find they've got different ideas, or
Right.
you'll have a scene that you think it's that way, and then they come in and they say, well, we're going to do it this way. And then-
Right.
so it gives you a thought of, not which one's better, which one works.
Right,
'Cause
absolutely.
it's never better. It's always which one works. and
Right.
how does it work?
And it's been working. Like this last one we did, we had brought on like 5 other crew members,
Oh, there
and
you
normally
go.
it's just us and one other person or 2 other people, but we've brought on more crew, and it really
So
it
that
was,
means
it
you're
was- it
expanding.
really, yeah, yes,
And
it
that
does.
can be done probably a shorter time as well, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of filmmaking is done prior to actually rolling camera. I mean, you got to make sure everything's done on paper. So, if you write it out and outline it detail, you can go in with a plan.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we do
And
that
that's
a
what
lot.
works for
Yeah,
us.
it works a lot for us.
Well, you just went through a problem, didn't you? He's having a movie made, right?
Yeah, yes.
And sort of it's
Yeah.
extended its sort of time.
It's
of
kind of
being
gone
finished.
overboard, yeah.
Yeah.
With
Well, I mean,
time.
it's all about proper planning, and like I just had a conversation because what happens when the distribution company we work with, they send filmmakers to me to kind of get them prepped and talk to, and I had to talk to a filmmaker today about scheduling, and because people don't understand the word AD. AD is not a creative position on set. The AD does logistics. So
Okay.
if you have a AD who's not properly trained or doing what you need to do while you're the director being creative on one scene, your AD should be setting up your next scenes,
Yeah.
getting you in and out. So I told this director, like, you need to find your good AD to help you assist with that. You don't need someone going to be like, my wife is a co-director. A first AD is a totally different job. You know what I'm saying? So personally, if it's designed right, you can get anything done. Like we shot this movie Taboo in 7 days.
Oh,
we knew,
wow.
we knew going
That's because you were organized.
planned it,
knew
right,
you had
yeah.
it written down.
And you
Yeah.
stuck to the plan,
We
probably.
stuck to the plan.
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
I mean,
I think that's the key, is sticking
Yeah.
to the plan. Don't go reinvent it. If you need to
Right.
add something later on, go back and do something. But
Right.
stick to the
Stick
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then don't shoot unless you're sure you're ready.
That saves you a lot of money as well, doesn't
Oh
it?
yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Investors. Well,
Definitely.
talking of money, do you get investors for your projects, or do you just handle them yourself?
Both.
both.
Oh, both. So you can actually sponsor your own.
Yeah,
Really?
we've done a lot of sponsoring. Till recently we started getting investors. Everything up to this point, we've
It
been
was out
out
of pocket.
Out of
Well, you know
pocket.
what I think is interesting is, and I know why you can do it out of pocket, because you own your equipment.
Yeah.
So you've got that huge cost factor out of the way.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Other than the star power, you don't have a huge budget, really.
Yeah,
Right.
got producer, director, got everything.
Yeah,
all
you've got
in
everything.
hand.
Yes.
And,
So-
and what did some of the companies we work with, we can create our own stars. Like we just had an actor we flew in to do this film with us, Nelson Davis, and he's been on, like, just last year alone, he did 8 movies alone. But he's on
But
the cover.
nobody knows him.
Well, no. Well, that's the thing. You might not know him, but he has a good fan
Well,
base.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Big
And he's a big,
fan base, yeah.
so like prime example, Debbie Rashawn. She's a horror actress. Back in the day, she worked with Lloyd Kaufman and all these other low budget filmmakers. But unless you are a low budget filmmaker watcher, you wouldn't know who she is.
No.
So you have to know your audience. You know what I'm saying? He knows his audience.
But you
and
can
knows
also
fans.
make them a star at the same
we could-
time,
well,
because
yeah.
you give them a good part.
Give them a good
You got a
platform.
good name on the movie. You get it out there, and they become a star.
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't that
Yeah.
beautiful?
And not only that, but there's a lot of actors out there that may not be considered A-list, but they're huge in that they've been in a lot of movies. We just
Yes.
don't recognize them, when we first see them.
Right.
We're working with someone right now who we're trying to get into this one movie, who in the United States may not be considered like an A-lister,
Yeah.
although I think he is. But in where he's from, which is from Great
England?
Britain, England, and to Australia and Europe, he's huge.
Yeah, I mean that's all the time. Because a lot of stuff we used to do back in the day. I used to do movies for Nollywood, African films.
Yeah.
There were a lot of African actors I've never heard of. You know what I'm saying?
But over there,
they're
huge.
huge. They're
Yeah.
like Tom Cruise over there. They came here. We did a movie with JJ Bunny. She's a Nigerian actress. I mean, to me, she was a regular cute female.
But she's got a big name attached
she
to
got a
her.
big name attached to them. So you have to know your audience. Just because they're not like the Tom Cruises or the Will Smiths doesn't mean anything nowadays,
Right.
especially with social media. I mean, you can be a YouTuber now and have
Yeah.
be a
more
star.
followers, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's all about your followers.
all about your followers.
and-
Listen, a kitty
yeah.
cat can have more followers.
Right.
I think that's the
exactly.
number one video on YouTube was a cat.
Yeah.
So
The cat
yeah.
doesn't even know
Yeah,
it.
the cat played the piano.
That's right.
Right.
So yeah, that is amazing.
I think that's amazing, though, that you can bring these actors and actresses into the realm and in America and give them a name that they deserve as well, because America's everywhere.
Yeah.
And it gives them a name of their hard work and what they've done.
Exactly.
I think it's absolutely wonderful. So I think you definitely should get the award.
Well,
Thank you. We received that.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely
you.
should get the award for sure.
So you've done documentaries as well?
No.
No?
No
Okay.
documentary.
So just feature film.
Yeah, documentary. That is a whole special technique.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
documentary is different. Yeah,
Yeah, that's-
I've done
yeah, it's different.
documentaries and they're totally different.
Yeah, that's a different beast. And
Yeah.
matter of fact, I had to turn down someone wanted me to do a documentary a couple days ago. And I told him if you want it done right, then hire somebody who had actually done a documentary.
Yeah,
because-
what they do.
yeah.
Because that's something totally different. That's not like what
What
we
about
do.
television series?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
There you go.
I want a comedy that we talked about earlier, Dexter
Yeah,
Jackson. We're
that's
shopping that to networks right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Are you working Netflix and all those different people?
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
Yes,
cool.
we're
Yeah.
we're working it. We're working all the chains.
all the angles.
Because there's been one coming up, then another one comes up, and then another one comes up, and it's
Well, the good thing about that now, because next month Paramount launches their streaming platform.
Yes.
So now you got Paramount, you got Warner Brothers, you got Disney, you got
You've got Discovery came
So,
up, and
yeah.
they've gone into Roku and all these
Yeah.
different
Right.
stations.
So now
Absolutely.
what happened is that now these studios they need more content to keep people coming back to subscribe to their channels. You see
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? So
Yeah.
as the content, well, we're filmmakers, but we're basically content providers. You know
Of
what I'm
course
saying?
you
So,
are. That's what you do.
Right. So we're in a good position now because all these streaming networks come out
They're
there.
all looking for
They're all
content.
looking for content.
It's funny how so many people don't realize that all these stations and all whatever you want to call them all these days, they're always looking for content. Always.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
even the television stations, they're all looking, and everyone says, "Oh, they're too big for me, and I can't get that." I think, why not try it?
It's not,
Right.
Because
it's
they're
not-
looking.
Well, there's no
It's-
longer the
it's-
day of 3 or 4 television
No,
stations.
no,
You know,
there's all these
thousands.
platforms, which is
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
And they all want content, all
which
of them.
which is it's great, and I
But
guess
choose
if
the right
people can
one.
just get out of their own way and
Yeah, choose your right one, though.
Exactly.
Yeah, if they're paying right, that's the right one.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
right.
I agree with you.
Yeah, because there's a lot of them who are startup companies. I mean, you don't want to not do with the startups, but if I'm spending, example, $15,000-$20,000 on my own film,
Right.
well, I'm going to give it to a startup company
No.
for no money. That just
No.
that
It
doesn't
doesn't
make any
work.
sense.
I like what you just said, Bobby, because I think a lot of people out there today think, well, I've got to have millions to produce a film.
No.
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 And you really don't.
No. If you know, like your camera here, the Black Magic there. I mean,
That's right.
I got
See, he
two of
already
those.
knew.
I got 2 of those. And we just filmed a movie with that. So
And you can, and it
film
comes
with
out
that.
perfect.
And
It's-
matter of
it's a
fact,
great
even
film
with the
camera.
Lifetime movie, we shot B-roll with that film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that camera. So you'd be surprised looking at that camera right now that you have for say $1,200 to $1,500.
Yeah. And
You
then
know?
with accessories, add that up a little bit more.
I mean, yeah,
Right.
but I mean,
Of
but get the basics.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you can go to basics and go to the pawn shop and buy you a nice lens.
Well, that's true too. Well, actually, this is a new line of lenses.
Yeah.
I don't want to give them a free
Yeah, no,
ad,
no,
but
no, no.
You can.
and,
They
yeah.
they might get some money out of them. Might have a few zeros at the end of the 100.
But what I'm saying is that this perfect example. You could probably get your nice camera package less than $5,000.
Yeah.
Less
Yeah.
than 5. All you need now is a good script. Take place in one room. Bring some friends over for the weekend, give some beer, and shoot a movie.
We're gonna talk when we get off
I
the air.
like your ideas. I think this is amazing. This is cool.
And then you've created some
You
content.
create content,
and now let's
and
see where it
let's
goes.
see where it goes.
Well, we're wrapping on a film right now. This is our first film.
Okay.
And just to see what's going to happen with it. And then we have another one that's going to be coming out in a couple of months. Well, maybe you can get involved in this a little bit.
Sure.
Oh, yes.
It's a comedy.
Okay.
And then after that, we have one that's more of a full feature film, like a big production film. But it's not going to be like $5 million film. We are working on something right now that is about that budget. But that's not my film. We're just helping put it together.
Right.
I don't think you have to spend that kind of money unless you're just getting A-list actors only.
Right.
Oh, you should be.
Well, I mean, you know,
absolutely.
and if you want to get the right equipment, you know, because, you know, you got the grip, your electric trucks, and, you know, having all these camera accessories and stuff like that. Yeah, that stuff costs. You know what I'm saying?
Of
And
course.
locations and stuff like that. So there's a lot to go into it. But also, too, there's some people, you know, you can like one of our movies we get funded with product placement. You know, we can go out there. So many entrepreneurs out there want their stuff in movies. You know, say, hey, you know, you have a drink company or a barbecue sauce company. How about I put your stuff in my movies? It'll cost you less.
It's product placement.
Yeah, it'll cost you less than a commercial to put your stuff in my movie.
Well,
that's
like
going to be
watches,
there
you
forever.
can wear a watch. The main character wear a watch, and
Or
there you go.
T-shirt.
Well, we
Yeah,
actually
every
have
shot.
someone. We have product placement in the bigger movie once that comes
Well,
through.
but don't just stop at the bigger movies too, because
I know,
movie.
and I agree with
your
you.
smaller movies,
Yeah.
because once you get that smaller movie done, that's your foot into the door to get into these up and coming networks who will pay. I mean, you have Tubi, you have Urban Flicks, you have Pluto, you have Vudu. There's a lot of these channels out there that you can actually get to now. You know what I'm saying? That's also going to increase your value to any producer or investor to give you that $5 million, knowing that you have a track record of one completing the movie.
And you know that's been my battle plan all along. That's always been my plan: is get the first one, get the second one, then try and get a little bit more money for the next
Right,
one, and then build your
absolutely.
way up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I talk to investors about is, if it's your first film, how do they know that you're going to complete it?
Right.
If I give you this money, give you this check, how do I know that you're going to do
Well,
what you say you're
especially in
going
this
to do?
day and age,
Yeah.
you never know what they're going to do.
Well, we know the one I'm doing is going to be completed because
Yeah.
I financed it. So.
Well, I mean, but you know,
And you're not going anywhere.
And I'm not
You're
going
waiting.
anywhere. So
but
yeah.
you know,
it's taken longer
you'd be
than I
surprised,
wanted.
though.
But
A lot of filmmakers, you know, they say they want to get investors, but you have to have that track record of actually completing the film. So
we
befo-
know
before
some
you ask for-
investors that actually put money in and never gotten anything
Anything.
out of it.
yeah, I actually
like
spoke
the
with an
complete
investor a week ago.
movie,
That
yeah.
exactly is what
Yeah.
happened to him.
Yeah.
You know, he put $300,000 into a movie and nothing
Nothing
wasn't
came of
produced.
it. Yeah.
Right now,
So, and I can understand.
$300,000, I can give you 10 movies.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
Why
That's
not?
exactly right.
Yeah, but you're honourable.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
We're gonna make
you
sure.
two have got an honourable name out there. You actually do what you say you're going to do, and that is probably one of the biggest things in the industry.
Yeah.
Because
And that's why Lifetime's seeking them out.
I was going to say that's why Lifetime comes to you all the time. They know, and you'll probably get bigger and bigger with them because of what you do and what you produce for them. They say they want this, and you say, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
it's done. Whereas a lot of companies, that's why the movie industry is such a tricky thing when it comes to investors, because they don't know if they're really going to get the movie, or they're really going to finish the
Right.
movie,
Right.
or do they even ever have a movie?
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
You have to have safeguards to protect that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I've learned a lot today.
Yeah, I'm going to go out and make a movie.
You should. You should definitely make a
come.
movie. I mean, especially
And then-
you're from Europe, though, so you get international.
Yes, I got your call. Yes, absolutely.
Going back when you talk about the Lifetime movies, the executive producers that we're working with and distribution company, they have a track record. So when they
so
came
then you're
on,
related to that.
right? To say, hey, can you guys direct this film? We have to know who we're getting involved with as
Of
well,
course,
because
yes.
then our name is on the line.
That's
Right.
right.
So we know
right.
that they have a track record. They know that we have a track record. So hey, let's get together. We can make this film.
Absolutely. Then you also get to
And-
know other distribution people, which
Right.
means that you could maybe help with your movies and your stuff.
Absolutely.
Now, if you did that, would you let them know you're going to use them, or call these people? Would you let whoever you're working with? Would you let them know that?
Well,
you know,
it's-
can I
it's-
present my movie to these?
Yes, I mean,
yeah.
you definitely be transparent. You don't do anything
Yes.
behind the back and nothing
No.
like that. You make sure it's transparent. Say, hey, look, I got
Do you
this
mind
movie
if
I'm doing.
do you mind if I got this
Yeah.
movie? I'd like to present it to this company that I know you've worked with and introduced us to.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you never know with the introduction, they might help you get even further into the door.
Well, they will if you're honest. I
Yeah.
guarantee that. That's a guarantee.
So have you sold any of your work to anyone else to produce, or are you still just to produce your own?
We do so.
Okay, just your own. Yeah.
Oh.
I was just curious about how that.
I want to ask you a
process it.
question, though. This is because I'm very attached to the younger generation. What message would you like to give to the younger generation of going into the business and how they should start or what they should do? Because I'm very into that.
want to
You
start off?
both.
I just say be consistent in whatever you do. That is my word, consistency. You know what I'm saying? No matter if you do your first film and it's 5 minutes long, do that first 5-minute movie. Then
Yes.
your next one's
Really
going to be
good.
10. Then your next going to be 20. You know what I'm saying? So be consistent because there are people watching. I mean,
And don't be
There's
afraid to
always-
try.
yeah, don't be afraid to try.
Because I think that's
Yeah.
the same thing. I'm an author as well. And one of the things that I found with authors, I used to lecture on this, was that they said, well, how do I get started? I said, write the first sentence.
Right. That's
You
it.
have to do something first.
That's
I was
it.
never going to write a book ever.
Yeah.
And
But
I
now-
wrote a book. No, not my own book, but I wrote a book before that
Mm-hmm.
called Joyful Volunteering. It's all about volunteering. And I got caught up in this thing, and I said, I'm the worst speller, number one. I'm the worst. But I did have I have a creative mind, and I'm just putting it down on paper, and I became an author.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There
it
you
was
go.
that simple. And there's missing. I'm never going to, the usual thing. I like your what you say about the younger generation. Start with like 5 minutes and then 10 minutes. Because that's what they learn actually in university
Yeah.
or schools. They learn a small little book. Because I used to edit for Loyola Marymount University for the young kids. They would come to me, Ninon, could you edit this for us? I said, of course I can. I'll help you. I said, I'll help you. I won't do it, but I'll help you how to
Right.
do it and show you how to do it.
Yeah.
But
Right.
because I think the younger generation, especially in schools, not that we're going to school anymore, they don't do media or communications anymore, so
Right.
it's a little harder for them
Yeah.
out there. So I think to get any knowledge that you can,
Well, I mean,
We'd love to
the
help,
best
yeah.
university right now is YouTube University.
Yeah.
I mean, you can learn how to do anything in the world from YouTube.
There you go.
Learn how to film a movie with your phone if you want to.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So there is no excuse not to learn or do anything with consistency.
I
Well,
mean,
now-
if you think about it, when we tested the theory of filming a movie with your phone,
Phone.
Bobby said, well, let's write a 3 or 4 page script. We wrote, we end up, I think, being a 5-page script. And we called up some of the actor friends that we know that are actors. And we was like, hey, we want to film this movie, this short, specifically on our iPhone.
Yes.
And we did it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Well,
as
they do
simple as
4K
that.
now.
But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, it's just in.
So don't use any excuses you can't
Exactly.
do it.
Right.
There's no
Can't
excuse,
do it.
and you don't need the best camera available to your body. Like I said, you have a camera in your pocket.
Start off.
Yeah,
Just
so
start
you
it.
don't need the best. Because a lot of filmmakers say, oh, man, if I had this camera, I could do this, I could do that. I'm saying, not
I know,
really.
I had that all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, having
Not true.
that equipment is not going to make you a better person.
No.
Well, how I decided on this camera was there's a gentleman who used to teach an acting class here in this studio, and he has an Ari, and I guess with all the equipment he has and everything, he spent about $80,000 to $100,000, and he shot his movie. And when I was getting ready to buy a camera, and we narrowed it down, he goes, "That Black Magic will do what my Ari does.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
on you
yeah.
Yep.
It's
That's,
all-
there you
exactly.
go.
Yeah.
because it's all 4K anyway."
It's all okay. I mean, now they got
Or-
6Ks, so
Well, yeah, but no one's using 6K. It's
No.
all edited down. So, so that's why he said that camera will do everything mine does. Don't go out
Yeah.
there and spend that kind of money.
no,
So-
you don't need to. But use what you got. I mean, if you can get your phone, a flip phone that's video right now, and make a movie with that, make a
Do
movie
it.
with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Listen, when,
I agree.
when you first got into filmmaking, what was your first movie?
My first movie was called Ghost Rider. My very first film.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was from a camera that I bought from Walmart.
Okay.
A little $300 camera, a little cassette camera.
Like a brownie.
Yeah. And a laptop my mom got from the pawn shop. So I wrote a movie based around that laptop.
Yeah.
And they called it Ghost Rider. It was about a possessed laptop.
But,
wow.
But with that
See?
concept, he got someone that was interested
Yeah.
in him. It was a dentist.
A dentist. Well, he
Who-
wasn't a dentist, but he made the teeth for the dentist, whatever.
So, okay, whatever that's called.
Mm-hmm.
So he invested in his film
$5,000.
$5,000.
Wow.
When he did his next film, and
next-
actually it went to
It went to, it was on
Netflix.
It was on
It was on
Netflix.
Netflix. Years ago.
Years ago, and we got an advance for that movie for $25,000. So
Oh,
he gave me
my
$5,000
goodness.
for it. It
Wow.
started. I paid him back his money, and on top of that, gave him half. Took my half, went and bought equipment.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And that's how you started up.
So I started.
See how simple that is?
And again-
Not simple, it's tenacity, but it's also following your dream,
Yeah.
but not giving up.
not giving
And
up.
this was back in 2004.
And the secret again is buy your own equipment.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Then you don't have to spend a lot of money doing
Yeah.
films.
Nope. You save a lot of money and you save a lot of time and headache. Because one of the films that we did one time before, I had they had to have a cameraman come and film stuff for me. He would come late. or not at all.
Kind of know that
You
one.
know what I'm saying? So I like, I can't do this, because I like to do things, when I want to do them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I had to wait for you to do something for me, it would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And which is a curse and a gift, because sometimes I'm so into what I'm doing, I won't let other people in help me, because sometimes if I had to explain it to you, I can just do it myself.
Military. He's
That's
very
true.
military when it comes
Oh,
down to stuff like time and stuff like
Are
that.
you a
Yeah.
military man?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
when it
Thank you.
comes to time, it's like, and I'll say, babe, we still have a few minutes. Like, we can get this. No, if we say that we're starting at this time, this is what time we need to start.
I
If you-
agree with
If you're
him.
there at
I
that
do.
time, then you're late. It's
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
late,
he's a
Because
stickler for that.
you stick to what you said you're going to
Right.
do. Funny,
Yeah.
I did a show today, and we were 20 past 1, and it was now 20 to 2, and now it's. But the respect I felt was that there was no respect on my side. I was being interviewed,
Right.
and I had another appointment, and I had given this 2 hours,
Right.
and I'm now rushing.
To get here.
to go, well, actually nearly, but it was to another appointment then here.
Yeah, okay.
And it was like, and I thought, you've got to stick to you've got to have a timeline.
Right.
You've got to, like Ninon speaks, 7 o'clock it is.
Yeah, you have to have those rules. And,
Yes, you
it's like
do.
Things happen, faulty equipment, things like that happen. We
Oh, that
understand
happens.
Well,
yeah,
that's-
yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you're just late for the sake of being late,
Yeah.
that would
because
drive
you
me-
can be late.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah. So I would probably never come back to that.
What a
interview
lot
again.
of great information we've heard from both of
Oh,
you.
absolutely.
Absolutely
yeah.
amazing how to follow
Yeah,
through
yeah,
and
yeah.
how to
So glad you
how
come
to
on the
make
show.
money and how to start just get one of these things. You know what
Yeah.
these are? Cell phones.
The main thing is the inspiration.
Yes.
Inspire, let people know.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. And by the way, it's not just about youth. I don't care how old
No.
you
Oh,
are.
yeah.
That's right.
If you've got a dream, go out there and do
Well,
it.
you've got a movie coming along, and
She knows my age. That's why she's saying that.
no, you were saying you're going to put me in it, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
but yeah, I mean, because what happens too, a lot of people, even on social media, we find people say, "Oh man, I always want to be an actor. I just never had the opportunity to do that." And if you look at our IMDb credits, and you look at the people in the movie, a lot of our IMDb credits that we gave were actors for their first time being on any kind of movie set ever. And not only that, giving them speaking lines.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we believe in giving opportunities, no matter
Absolutely.
how
I
old or
agree.
young you are.
doesn't
love it.
matter.
As long as that you come prepared and ready to
Yeah.
work.
I don't look at age at all for
I don't
anything.
either.
I just look at
Just
what
a
do I
number.
want? What's the character?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if I say I'm looking for a 16-year-old, I don't want my 65 auditioning for that part because that has happened.
Yeah.
That has happened. I'm like, I know you feel 16, but you don't look 16.
But there are a couple of people I know in the past, one in particular, who go to an audition and sometimes they'll read something. It may even be a woman's part. And this guy will go in. He doesn't care what the nationality says it is or whether it's a woman or whatever. He'll go read for that part anyway. And
Yeah.
he's convinced people that part should be his.
it should be a man.
Yeah,
or-
now,
Yeah.
and now I would admit we have changed roles.
We sure
We have
have.
done that. We have done that. Because a person came in and we didn't imagine this person being a male or a female. That definitely worked. Or white, black, or Asian,
Yeah.
whatever. We never imagined that. So that does work with nationality. However, when there's an age specific,
Right, I know.
You know,
We've
don't-
got certain brackets.
Obviously, if
Yeah.
you have a
Yeah.
mother and father who's in their 30s, you don't want a 30-year-old son.
right? You know, what I'm
You
saying?
know.
and so we, like I said, we just had that recently happen. So it's like I don't think you read well
Right.
or at all.
Yeah.
But when we talk about giving, actors their first start, let's talk about Courtney for a minute.
Yes. Okay.
So Courtney, right now, Courtney Nicole, she is the mom, one of the lead actors on
A series regular.
on a series regular on Assistant Living, which is Tyler Perry's new show
Okay.
on BET.
Yep.
And she was on set as an extra
In a movie that we helped
in
out.
a movie that we helped on, and she was just sitting back there, just sitting there. When I seen her, I was like, she's beautiful. I love her look. Let's bring her. And she was like sitting in the back. I said, let's bring her down to the front. She came down. She didn't have any lines at the time, right?
Nothing.
We end up casting her in another film, and she's worked with us from that point on. Now she moved out to
wonderful.
California. She moved to California, and that's where she got her break. Tyler Perry flew her back there to audition, cast her for the role. Now she's a series regular on his new
On the show.
We just did we filmed for a trailer this last week, and the actress who was supposed to be for this trailer bailed on me last minute. And I thought, now what are we going to do? A friend of mine said, let me call this girl. She's really pretty. She's going to fit this part right. She's not an actress. I said, well, I don't even care if she says any lines at this point. And she came in, and within 10, 15 minutes, she even said her own lines. She came up with stuff I couldn't even imagine. And it was fantastic. And I think she's found a new career.
Yeah.
See?
I mean, it's
you don't
amazing.
know.
And she never
You
even
don't
thought
know.
about ever
Yeah.
acting before.
And that right there to me is rewarding.
Yes,
Yeah.
it definitely
Yes.
is.
That is
Yeah,
rewarding.
it is definitely
Yeah.
rewarding because you've opened up a whole new set for somebody
yeah.
that never knew they're going to do anything, but you
Right.
believed in them.
Yeah, yep. And
Yeah.
we're good friends to this day, man. She was just at our house
Yeah.
this past
This
weekend.
past
Because her
weekend.
husband was in the movie that we just filmed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
See?
Well, we're running out of time.
Okay.
So we have here Bobby and Renee Peoples, and please look for them online. Where can we learn more about your work?
You can go to our website, which is tpn1.com. That's TPN and the number 1.com. Or follow us on social media under my name, Bobby M. Peoples, on Facebook, IG, and Twitter.
Yes, and mine is Renee Warren Peoples on Facebook, IG, and Twitter as well.
I was hoping you'd get that in there about Renee has one too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then Ninon.
Well, I have Vegas Live with Ninon, and of course you can see that on YouTube. You can see that on Facebook, Instagram, all over the place. Absolutely amazing. And you can reach, if you want anybody out there would like to come on the show, just go to talent at Vegas Live with Ninon, and my director of talent will assist you and help you, and you can come on the show and do the same as we're doing here right now.
Yeah. And you'll be able to listen to this show on All Aspects Radio Network.com, which is our new network. And I want to thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having us.